I saw
in a remote, barely accessible corner of India's northeastern extreme lies the historically important town of Tawang. The headquarters of the Tawang district in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, it is located in close proximity to the Indo-Tibetan and Indo-Bhutanese borders. Synonymous for most Indians with the Indo-China War of 1962, Tawang is a Buddhist majority town with a small population of Bengali shop owners as well. In the month of January every year, when temperatures fall to as low as 15 degrees Celsius below freezing, when heavy snowfall and the biting cold bring life to a standstill, a grand structure of Buddhist architecture dating to the 17th century gets a buzz with spiritual and religious fervor. Much like other Buddhist monasteries, it is located on a promontory on the outskirts of the city. The second largest Buddhist monastery in the world, outside Lhasa in Tibet, the Garden Namgyal Latse Monastery plays host to a very important Buddhist festival. A festival that is the epitome of the strength of faith. It is the time of the Torgya festival. Celebrated to ward off evil spirits and usher in happiness and prosperity, Torgya is a festival of the Monpa tribe of Tibetan Buddhists. In the bitter sub-zero temperatures of India's land of the rising sun, Torgya beats even the sun to its rise. Prayers begin in the main prayer hall of the monastery in hours of the early dawn. Lamas, both young and old, assemble in the main prayer hall of the monastery, which also houses a 26-foot-high Shakyamuni Buddha statue. Under the aegis of the Khenpo or the abbot of the monastery, the lamas recite prayers and religious texts. The abbot is the most important religious leader of the monastery and of the region. The recitation is accompanied by the sounds of drums, cymbals, and the occasional dungchen or Tibetan horn. The gathering of the lamas also has its first meal of the day together in the prayer hall. While prayers go on in the prayer hall, the courtyard acts as the venue for the monastic dances or cham, each of which has a meaning and message behind it. The audience builds up through the day and reaches a few thousand by the late afternoon. These thousands of devotees come mostly from nearby areas for this 3-day festival. Such is the charm of the festival that people from neighboring areas of Bhutan walk past the border to Tawang to witness the celebrations and seek blessings. And one can find a handful of foreigners and Indian tourists as well, attracted by the lure of this enigmatic festival. So unique is the nature and form of the monastic dances that they do not quite fit the definition of any typical dance form. The body movements of the performers are in sync with the slow-paced beat of a drum or cymbal, and some of the dances can last as long as 3 hours. Dancers in each of the dances wear masks and use props which may depict anything from deities to animals to birds or even angels. These monastic dances tell stories from Buddhist legends, represent the culture of the Mon religion, demonstrate the victory of good over evil, or even the fate of a sinner who has to end up in hell. The audience, comprising primarily of Tibetan Buddhists, can be seen enjoying and relating to the dance performances. The audience also constantly cheers for the performers. As many as 21 dances are performed over the 3 days of the festival. Towards the end of the first day of the festival, lamas take out the procession of the torma from the prayer hall of the monastery. The torma is an effigy representing all sins and evils. Devotees accompany this procession along with the escorting lamas to the mechang amid sounds of drums, cymbals and dungchans. The mechang is a mound of dry bamboo leaves in the shape of a temple. When the mechang begins to burn, the abbot, assisted by the other senior lamas of the monastery, puts the torma to flames. This signifies the destruction of all evil spirits. While dances continue on the second morning, a palanquin of an idol of Maitreya Buddha is taken to circumambulate the monastery. The palanquin is kept at various places in the monastery premises for the general public to pay its respects to it. Lamas also hand out sacred threads or rungmas to the devotees who come to the palanquin. On this day, a huge painting or thanka on a cloth background is unfurled from the balcony of the main prayer hall. Monastic dances continue through the day, leading up to a public blessing ceremony by the abbot. The size of the crowd swells hugely for this ceremony. The blessing, which is called Wand, involves the abbot touching the head of and sprinkling holy water on each devotee. Parents make a great effort to get their newborn babies blessed, some even handing them to police personnel or other devotees to be taken to the abbot. The dances on the third day lead up to the most important dance of the festival, known as Palden Lamo Cham. Palden Lamo, the guardian deity of the Tawang monastery. This dance depicts the guards and servants of the goddess Sri Devi praying to her. The prayer is to help them to bring peace and harmony to the world in general and to protect the Tawang monastery in particular. Every third year, the Torgya festival is celebrated on a much grander scale and takes the name Dungyur. The celebration of 2016 was such a celebration. Like most religious festivals and fairs, this one too sees pop-up shops and eating joints coming up around the monastery premises. These shops and vendors sell everything from fruits and local vegetables to handicraft items and clothes. The festival is the ultimate test of the spirit of a believer. The biting cold that would numb the senses of any person fails to dampen the spirit of the charm performers. Some of the dances are done barefoot and some with barely any clothing. Even the audience, which packs into the monastery premises, remains undeterred even as the freezing winds and snowfall engulf Tawang in bone-chilling cold. The uniqueness of the culture, the myriad of colors and designs of the clothes of the devotees, and an ethereal landscape lend an otherworldly feel to this grand festival. Whether one desires to see the strength of faith or wishes to embark on the adventure of a lifetime, Tawang positions itself as the place and Torgya as the festival for a life-changing experience.